with data types. What we saw that there were some data types like vectors, lists, matrices, data frames, factors, and arrays. So we dealt with yesterday vectors and lists. So is there any problem with lists and vectors? You can see no. Okay, fine. So moving up with vectors, we have seen there were no problems with. In vectors, we were having logical, numeric, integer, complex, and characters. We dealt with everything there, and we did a program too with the arrays. We will be dealing with the arrays today, and we dealt with the list actually. In vectors, we dealt with the list yesterday. So today we will be dealing with the arrays, right? So before arrays, I will be dealing with the matrices. Right? So guys, matrices are nothing. Matrices are data objects in which the elements are arranged into two-dimensional rectangular layout. A matrix is created using the matrix function. As you can see, this is a matrix function. This one, a matrix is created using this matrix function. So in a matrix, the syntax we write is something like matrix. Then we write the data, number of rows, number of columns, by rows, the dimension names, where data is the input vector which becomes the data element of the matrix. N row is the number of rows to be created. N column is the number of columns to be created. By row is a logical value. If you give true, then the input vector elements are arranged by row. If you give false, then it gets arranged by the columns. That's simple. Dimension name is the name assigned to the rows and columns. Right there, we'll do a simple program and we'll understand how it works on. Fine. So basically, matrices are an R objects in elements basically. Okay. We use matrices containing numeric elements to be used in mathematical calculations. Okay. So let's do a simple program. We'll understand it. Let's go to our R Studio. Okay, yesterday or maybe today morning, I saw a message. Someone was asking for how to save projects. So guys, this is basically we are doing in console, right? So in console, we can't save anything. You can go and write here for scripts or notebook, and you can go and write there, and you can save it also. Okay, so we can do it there. Let me do in script today.
Yes, sir, it was me.
Sorry.
Yes, sir, it was me, sir.
Okay, Adarsh.
No, sir,
Devayan.
I'm Divyan.
Devayan. Okay.
Yes, sir, but when I write in script,
Yeah.
it was not shown in it was not shown in environment, sir.
Yeah, in script it will not show in environment. It will just run there. You go and click on run and it will click there, run there. When you create a matrix or a data frame out there, when we will be creating today or day after tomorrow, so you will be getting that too also in the environment. But instead of doing you, if you directly do in your console, you will get everything out there in your environment. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. So let's start with the matrices. Matrices. So first I am creating a very genuine matrix, very small and matrices. So let me write is as mat and I write it as matrix. Actually want to take a size. And row I am assigning 4, and for the number of columns I am assigning 4 too. Let me close it and I can see this matrix. Go from here. Okay, guys, see. So I've created a matrix where my data is numbers from 1 to 60, or 1 to 60, right? And I given number of rows 4, number of columns 4, right there. Okay. Now let me go and get my map. So go and run it. Mat not found, that's a problem there. Okay, cut this and save. Here, paste over here. Matrix, and there is a matrix C, print. Okay, I have given it there. Right. So see, we have got a matrix out there with 1, 2, 3, 4 columns with the 4 rows and with the 4 columns. And you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 until from 1 to 16 we have got a matrix of 2-dimension figure where we have number of rows and number of columns right there. Fine. It was a very simple matrix. Let's go with some of them. Okay. So dealing with elements. Arrange sequentially epoch by row. Okay, that was a comment. Nice. Right. Suppose I am taking M. Let me clear it first. We have a matrix here. You can see a data, and the matrix looks something like this right there. Fine. So let me clear it first. Okay. Sorry. So 3 to 14. Comma number of rows there. I will giving it 4, and in the by row I'll be giving it true value. Now what will happen actually? Matrix will be created of 4 rows, right, and numbering between 3 to 14. So let's go and check what comes out there. See, now we've got number of rows 4. We didn't specify number of columns, so it took automatically that how much column it should take, and what the numbers get fitted into the columns, right? The 14 has been over in the 3rd row, so it took up to 3rd row right there, and we have specified that we want 4 columns, so 4 rows, so we have some 4 rows right there. Fine guys, moving ahead, we can specify same by the columns too. Let me write for the columns. For column, what I need to do is something only just false here, that's all, nothing else. So let me give it a name n, and you get print the n right there. So now you can see the number of rows. I think it's same. Okay, yeah, fine. So you can see now the number of columns, number of rows. You can see now 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It was arranged in some this manner. And now you can see here 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So these are now your columns and these are now your rows. You can say it as a transpose right there. You can see the elements in this one and you can see the elements in this one right there. See the difference, right? So we'll define now the rows and the column name too. Right. So let me write a comment. Defining number of rows and columns. So let me write it as row names. and I'm writing row names as C of row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, okay, there is 4, fine. Similarly, I will be writing the column names, equals to C, call 1, call 2, call 3, that's all, fine, oops, call 3, that's it. Okay. Now, let me create a new matrix, that is P. I'll be giving it as a matrix of C 3:14 now there, with the number of rows as 4. By row I'm giving it true. Now I'm writing the names is equals to, I'm writing it a list, so it's basically a list of the row names and the column names, right? So the row names, not row dot names, it's row names. Okay. Row names, comma, call names. So is it correct? Row names, fine. Okay. So we'll get out with this and we'll just print out the P. Let's see what comes. Now you can see that instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, what you got? Column 1, column 2, column 3, row 1, row 2, row 3. Just we have given the program of this shape, this program, right? Just instead of writing these codes, we have added one much, that is dimension names, and the dimension name was row names as well as the column names. Any problem in this, guys? Check, let me see.
Sir, can you explain the one more dimension names?
What? Sorry?
Can you explain one more time?
Dimension,
Yeah.
function of dimension names.
Function of dimension names. Okay.
Sir, can you explain?
Okay. You want me to explain once more, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. I will do. So let me go to that. So dimension names, basically, as I say, dimension names is the names what you assign to the rows and the columns, right? So it's something like I have written dimension names equals to list of rows comma names. That we need to write actually list, because dimension names is not a particular for row and not a particular for column. When you are writing dimension names, you need to define that what is your dimension name of the rows and the columns too. So first I need to write the row names and then I need to write the column name. Dimension names, I have created row names. I have created a, you can say, as a vector of row names where I have written row 1, row 2, row 3 and row 4, right? In column names, I have written column 1, column 2, column 3. Since I know that I will be getting 3 columns, I have written 3 column names there, and I know I will be getting 4 rows out there, so I am writing 4 rows out there. Fine. I have written the same program as this one. Till there it's almost same, no changes, and after this I have written dimension names of list, and my row names, instead of 1, 2, 3, give it the row names. What are the row names now? Row 1, row 2, row 3 and row 4. It will be printed here 1, 2, 3, 4, and instead of 1, 2, 3, you print me the call 1, call 2 and call 3. So I got that call 1, call 2, call 3 as my column names and row names as my row 1, row 2, row 3 and row 4. Any queries more?
Sir, is there any hard and fast rule that we have write the row names first and then columns in that dimension?
If you want to do,
in
you
the
can.
parentheses?
If you want to do, you can do that. Let me show you. Go and S, and you want that. Okay. So any queries come, go and test it first. So you want to write the row names and then the columns names, right? Fine.
Yes.
And something like this. So you can see that you have given a matrix where it shows an error that the list of column or the length of dimension names not equal to the array extent, right? Because you have actually 4 rows, okay, but you are writing the column name first. You have used here by row, number of rows here. So what you can do, if you also try with this method, right, going with number of columns equals to 4, that is okay. Remove this, right? Again hit enter. Now what you see is the thing you want to see actually, right? Now, but the what happened is actually now the row has transposed actually. Here the row has been got in the upper part, column has came right side. So actually it was your columns, it was your row names. So you need to give everything according to you, what you want actually. So I need column equals to 4, so I will be giving this. But instead of writing this, what I will be doing is I'll be writing the same as this one. So you can write column names first, but you need to actually define what are the real column names. We got here the column names, right? No problem. But these are not. This is not the actual method of printing columns, right? Columns are always on the top. Okay, there's some more problem. Yeah. So you can't give row names there because there are 4 rows and you have specified the number of columns. No, so it can't be done. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir. Can you explain the importance of biro?
By column you can give,
Biro.
by you can use by giving it false, but by true you can't use thereby. Okay, any more queries?
Sir, what is important means when we give biro equal to true,
Yeah,
biro equal to false.
see, when I give by column equals to 4 and I have given by row equals to true, instead of this let me write for this. By row. Just get it. Again you will get an error. By row true and by row false, as I said, by row is nothing but it is a logical value. If it is true, then the input vector elements are arranged by row, and if it is false, the input vector elements will be arranged as per as the columns. That's all. True gives you a row output and false gives you a column output. But since here your elements are 4 there and you have listed the row names first and then column name first, so it's not possible something like you can do with this one, and here you can change the names. You can do so better you go and follow always the row names and the column names, and you can specify the values there. Fine, let's move ahead. Okay, fine. So we'll get the accessing of the elements of a matrix now. How we can access the elements. So moving ahead with, now I have row names, I have column names. So let's see actually what this n look likes. This m look like something like this. Okay, this is vector 1, vector 2, vector 3. So we have specified the column names and the s. So let's see s. You can see this is row 1, row 2. You can rearrange anything there after column 2. Okay, fine. So column row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, anything, right? You have S, you have P out there, you have N there, you have M there. Okay, you can also export this into a CSV format and you can save it in your drive, or you can say as hard drive actually. Okay, so yep, and for that command is view, and whatever you want to view it, you will get their file. And we will be doing plotting, so we will be getting the plottings here, every plotting here, and from here we'll be export it to a PNG or save, and will save it to my hard drive again. So let's move with this. Here we'll be accessing elements of a matrix. So elements of a matrix can be accessed actually by using the columns and the row index of the element. We consider the matrix P. Let's we will writing a P matrix in this one, same pretty or something like this. Okay, so let me copy this actually. Okay, so let me bring the row names. Yep, I have the row names now. I have the column names. Now what I do is I'm creating a matrix. Now writing same for the P. Now let me clear it. So I'm writing a P matrix. Okay, matrix C of 3 to 40, comma number of rows equals to 4, by row equals to true, dim names equals to the list of row names comma call names. I think it's good to go. Yeah, row name comma call name. So we have created matrix. There must be a vector invalid closure dim names. Is there any problem? Okay. Cool. So there is a problem, I think. Copy this. Check. Okay, I have something I have done error. Previous, where is the error? Okay, let's check afterwards. So now there is an error till now. Okay, I have cleared actually, so I need to mention the row names too. Okay, the row names, the column names, and then I can write this one. Yeah, fine. So now let's access the elements. So if I need to access the third column and the first row, first I'll see what is my P, and this is my P, right? I want to access the third column and the first row. The third column and the first row, which is this 5. I want to access 5. How will I access? I'll be writing. So first, right? So it's very pretty simple. Go and write print over there and write P of what do you want. First you need to write your row name and then your column name always, right? So what I need, it's my first row, write 1 there, and I need give a comma there, and I need to find my third column, so I'll give it a 3 there. That's all. So P of 1 comma 3. Let's go to P of third column and find what is there in the first row. That's very easy. So we're getting 5 out there. It's very simple, guys. Okay. So now I'm going and accessing the elements of the second row and the fourth row. So guys, tell me what should I write for the second column and the fourth row. Yep, fast. I need the code here. What should I write?
Print P 4 comma 2.
Print P 4 comma 2 exactly. Print P of 4 comma 2, and this will create an error actually. Okay, now it's fine. And you'll get 13 out of there. Is this correct? So fourth row of second column is 13. Fine. Very good. So what if I need only to access the second row now? I don't need to access any column. I only need to access the second row. So in case of that, if I need only to access the second row, so what I will doing is something like printing p of what I want, only the second row. That's it. 2 comma nothing else. Fine. So only the second row and no columns. That's it. Go and print it out there. If something is p is not found, okay, it's capital P. That's an error. P of 2 comma nothing out there. So go and you will see the column 2. Not only the column 2, you actually get the row 2. These are the elements in the row 2. It is 6, 7 and 8 in their respective columns. Clear guys? Any problems? Let me get for the third row also. You will see. Suppose now I want to print it for the third row actually. So get, and you will get like this 9, 10, 11. Now the condition is for, suppose we are getting it for the rows. Similarly, we can find it for the columns too. Just we have to interchange the things. That is, you will first have to give comma here, and then you will have to write your values there. You go and first, this is your first row, right? This is the first row actually, and first column elements are this, correct? You can see 3, 6, 9 and 12. Is this correct, right guys? 3, 6 and 9 and 12 is it, the first column.
Yes, sir.
You can get here for the third column. Okay, third column out there. So that's very simple. Okay. And if you give nothing out there, no columns, no rows, you will get everything out. It's very easy. That's it. So let's go and do some matrix computations. Computations are nothing but performing some addition, subtraction, multiplication, divisions, and basic arithmetic
Sir,
calculation.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Sir, here we give the input of a position. Sir, if we have to check the element is present or not in the matrix, what should I do?
So yesterday I told a operator name, that is this, then this.
Yes.
Right? You can go ahead with
Yes.
this.
Okay, sir.
So we're doing the matrix computations, that is nothing but addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, very simple arithmetic calculations. So various mathematical operations are performed on matrix using the R operators actually. The result of the operation is also a matrix always. Okay. The dimensions, that is the number of rows and columns, should be same for matrix involved in the operation always. This is very noted that the dimensions should be the same for performing any kind of matrix, that is addition. When you are performing addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, you need to specify the same number of dimensions like this. So let's go ahead and go with the matrix. So let me clear this. Should I clear it? Okay, should I clear guys? I think I should clear. You all
Yes,
have.
sir.
Okay, so let's clear this. It's a very good now. Now it's matrix addition as well as the subtraction. Now let me define a first matrix 1. Now I'll be writing it as matrix and giving it some values. Let me give 1, 4, 5, 6 minus 8, any frequent values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. and I'm giving it number of rows equals to 2. It's very good. That is, just go and see your matrix. That's an So your matrix is something like this, guys. Very easy, right? 1 2 3 1 2 2 rows, and rest of them are columns always, and you get the values of the fitted there in the columns. So let's go and create a matrix 2. I'll be writing it matrix 2, taking some elements. Let's say 5 2 0 9 3 4. Again, I'm writing for this and giving it an enter. Going with matrix 2. Again, you get the values out there. Now I want to add this matrix, these matrices. I really want to add these matrices. What I get is, I'll get the, first let me write this. Addition of the matrices. So you get the result, and in result what you need is something matrix 1. Let me write matrix 1 plus the matrix 2, isn't it? That's simple. And just that. Go and print the result. That's it. So I get out there with this. So this one for 1 plus 5 gives you 6 there. 4 plus 2 gives 6. 6 plus 9 15. It's very simple. 5 plus 0 5. Minus 8 plus 3 is minus 5, and 4 plus 4 8. Is it very simple? Any doubt in this one?
No, sir.
Okay. Similarly, I can do for the subtractions also. It's very easy. Go there. Result of subtract matrix 1 minus matrix 2. Let me take as subtraction results. So subtraction result is something matrix 1 minus matrix 2. Just go ahead and print it. You get the out there. So 1 minus 5 is minus 4, and so on. You get everything, right? So now we need to perform multiplication and divisions too. So we have matrix, we need to perform now multiplication divisions. So it's very again simple. You can go ahead writing multiply multiplying it. Now my multiplication result will be the matrix 1 multiplied by the matrix 2. And I'll be saying my end result. So this is my result. 1 into 5 1, right guys? 1 into 5 5, and then 4 multiplied by 2 is 8, and so on. You get, so why it's 0? Okay, we have 0 out there. So 5 into 0 is 0. Good. Now let's see the divisions of the matrices. So division of the matrices, something is t result, and if you go with matrix 1, sorry, matrix 1 divided by matrix 2. That's all. You get ahead and you go to print out the D results. Okay, that's good to see, and that's all. So we got, yeah, that was definitely will be infinite, because something divided by 0 is always infinite values. So we get I and F out there. Very simple, guys, right? We get infinity here, we got all the points here, something division solved here, so no problem till division. Any problem, guys? And multiplication, division, addition, subtraction in the arrays, in the matrix section.
No, sir.
Okay, so I think it's very easy for you to perform on that. So let's move ahead. We'll be continuing with the arrays now. So let's go for the arrays. So typically arrays are the R data objects, or you can say as arrays are the R data objects which can store in more than 2 dimensions, right? It takes vectors input and uses the values in the dimension parameter to create an array. Or for more specifically, for example, if you create an array of dimension 2, 3, 4, if I write, I create an array of dimension 2, 3, 4, right? So then it creates 4 rectangular matrices. As I specified, 2, 3, 4, I will be doing practical, you'll see. So 2, 3, 4, it creates 4 rectangular matrices, each with the 2 rows and 3 columns, right? So why do we actually use arrays? Because we can store data in more than 2 dimensions. We saw the matrix right there. In matrix, what we did, we stored the data into 2 dimension figures, you can say, as right. But in case of arrays, we can store more than 2 dimensions out there. Very easy it is. Okay, so if you create a matrix or something, you give numbers n1, n2, n3. So your matrix will be created of n3 times, and every matrix will be created of n1 rows and n2 columns. Guys, simple it is. So let's go and create something, you'll understand better. So should I clear it? I think I should clear. Okay, I'm clearing, guys. So let's go.
Sir, can you repeat the concept of array?
So what do you need to repeat me? What is matrix? What is array?
Only the concept.
Only
That n3 one.
Yep.
N3 times that one.
Okay, fine. So I mean to say actually that. Okay, let me write here. No, there is no space. Let me write here. So I mean to say actually that an array are the R data objects which store data as in more than 2 dimensions as compared with the matrices, right? So in arrays we will be writing the dimensions at, if we write something like, let me give you a brief description in the, okay, what is this now opening? So let me go to my PPT and I'll make you a more zoom value. Let me write here something. I'm saying that if I write a dimension name out there, suppose if I write dimension names of something n1 followed by n2 and then n3, right? So here I mean to say you that what is my n1 actually? Here my n1 will be the number of rows. Yeah, let me write it as number of rows out there. My n2 would be the number of columns, and my n3 would be the number of matrices being printed. Number of matrices being printed with the dimensions of n1 comma n2. Okay, it's gone out. Fine, guys. So n3 will be the number of matrices you will be getting as your output with the dimensions you have specified in the number of rows and number of columns. So we'll get to it and we'll understand how it works. So let me create it. So an array is basically created using the array functions, that is array and then for same like matrix, and it take vectors as input and uses the values, the dimension parameter as well as the dim parameter to create an array. So let's create a array first. So let me write it as vector 1. I'll be writing it as 1293. Okay. Vector 2. And for here I'll be writing, let's take numbers 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. And so we have created actually two vectors of different lengths. Now let's take these vectors as input to an array. So I want an array result, and this is my array. I'm specifying this my array as the vector 1 comma vector 2 comma the dimensions. What I need to mention is, now you see, this is basically the important one. I mean to mention 3 cross 3 cross 2. Now what is this actually? I need the number of rows to be 3, number of columns to be 3, and why it is not swimming nice. Okay. So number of rows, number of columns to be 3, and the number of matrices I would be printing, it's 2, right? Now I will be getting 2 matrices. Fine, that's what I need. And I'll get, so you guys go and create one with me too. Let me go first and fill print, and you guys work and print one, then we'll go to the next one. So you once practice this. So array result, now you can see we have got 2 matrices, same matrices, right? Now dimensions are same, but we have got this as 1, this has 2, that is nothing but the 2 dimensions. Okay, you can say as a 3 dimensions actually, which is because it is a 3-dimension figure. Okay, understood what it does, this 2 does mean, right guys? And you can go ahead with this and you can write here for 5, it's not 58, it's very big, and print for the array result. You can see guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out there. The same matrices were printed for 5 times. Understood? What does this last n3 or this 5 actually means? This is the number of rows and number of columns you have. That is 3 cross 3. Very simple. And what does this mean? Have you everyone understood out there? Debayan, Adarsh,
Yes, sir.
fine. So, okay, I could see everyone out there satisfied with this. So go and create one very fast. Go. You have 1 minute. Go and create something new. And if the error comes, let me know. It's giving. Okay. So have you guys done? I saw somewhere on net that we can use CTRL plus shift plus 2 to zoom a console, and yeah, this very good. You can zoom it. Nice. That's good to see. Okay. So now it's more clear, I think so, right? Instead of this, it's this. It's very good. Okay. Okay, so guys, have you created your own arrays? Any problems comes there? I think you are creating. You guys are creating now. Okay. Go create. Okay, finally I have done this. Guys, that's okay, good now. That's good to see that finally we have done this. Now you would be able to see it very clearly. But it's pretty very large. Let me do it some sort of. And this is fine, guys. Okay. Okay. Done, sir. Very nice. What the status of Adarsh, Lakshmi, and Deepak? What is your status? Have you done? So I'm saying done. Very nice. Lakshmi has done. Deepak and Adarsh, we're waiting for you. Now it's very good to see your codes. We have done actually. If we also go with the same panel, no need to worry out there. You can write the codes. Okay. Okay, do fast, Adarsh, Deepak. You have more 30 seconds only. After that, move on. So, Devan, how was your class of Python? How did you get it?
It was nice, sir. I have one doubt in Python Plus.
Okay, yeah, I came to know that you have taken the Python classes before too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, when in Jupyter Notebook, when you check the complex data type, sir, you told that one number plus any character.
Yeah.
But sir, when you type as a character J, then it's run okay. But when you type I, it shows error.
Yeah, it's specifically for only for J actually. Only for J, because when we read about complex numbers, we have read that I, J, it's something. We can use I, but not always. But in always condition, we can use J. It's good to use J there. For we can use K, I, J, anything out there. But okay, just give me a snapshot that where you have got the error. I'll tell you.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, Adarsh and Deepak, I'm moving on. You can continue with the screens and get me out there. Fine. Okay. So now we have seen that number of matrices we have printed, that is vector 1 and vector 2 out there. Now, how can we name actually instead of getting 4, 5? How can we name these rows, and or how can we name these rows and these columns as we did in The matrix is right there, guys. Very easy. We have vector 1, vector 2, so I'm not going to write again vector 1. I'm just writing the column. Now you guys can see it very clearly, right? Or if you want, I can make it more larger for you. You can see it very clearly. So column dot teams is C of, let me write it as column 1.
Sir, how did you zoom the console?
See, you have two options. You can do shift plus ctrl plus 2. You will get this something messy, and for first you do shift ctrl plus shift plus 2, and then after go for Windows, guys, you can do ctrl plus plus, that is nothing but ctrl plus, that's all, ctrl and plus sign. Okay.
Yes.
And for Mac one, I think one student is of Mac, Parth. Where is he, guy? Actually, he didn't came. So for Mac ones, you can go with the Windows CMD plus. Okay. And if you are dealing with a Windows keyboard with the Mac, you can go with the Windows plus. That's all. So column 2, column 3 out there. So these are my column names: call 1, call 2, call 3. Let's move ahead for the row names. And for the row names, I'll writing row 1, row 2, row 3. As I see, it's a 3 cross 3 matrix. So I'll writing row 1, row 2, followed by the row 3. That's all. And similarly, I would also be writing for these numbers. I don't want to get 5, 4. I want to get some names right there. So I will be printing 2 matrix now. Or I will printing only 2 matrices, right? So I will writing the names for the 2 matrices. Matrix names. In place, I'm writing it as matrix 1, matrix 2. That's all. Very nice to go. So now take these vectors as an input in your array again. So moving ahead, we'll get result. I'll write it's an array of C where we have vector 1. We have vector 1, right? In our above we have vector 1 and vector 2. So taking vector 2, comma, the dimensions as C of 3 cross 3 cross 2. Okay, and now the dim names, dimension names as what? It's very easy. It's basically a list of row dot names, comma, I think it's called dot names. That's all? No, not that's all. We need to give the matrix names too, guys. So we have given matrix name, so we need to give a comma out there, and we need to write matrix dot names. That's all now. So go and get your results. Now you can see 2 matrices out there, guys. Matrix 1, which is column 1, column 2, column 3, and row 1, row 2, row 3 as per we gave, and with save with the column, so next matrix 2. Guys, very simple.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now I want to print the third row of the second column, you can say third row of the second matrix of the array. Now it's not like the third row of the second column. It's the third row of the second matrix. So what I do for now, think of it, we were having results, and in result what you need is actually, you know that the column or the row name is given first. Okay, so third row, that is third row. Oh, it's went off. That is third row. Now you don't need any specification for the column, right? I didn't give that give me this particular column result. So no column has been given. Give a comma there, no columns, leave it blank. You need the second matrix, right there second. That's all. Okay. You need the third row of no particular column but of the second matrix. That's it. You go and get it out there. You get column 1, column 2, column 3, 3, 12 and 5, 15, sorry. So that's it, right? That is the second one, that is 3, 12 and 15, the third row of the second matrix, isn't it? Very simple. Now if I say that you go and bring me the second row, right, I want the third row of the matrix 2, and that too in the third row I want the column 2 value. So what I'll write then, you need to specify here a column 2. You need to find the third row, or you need to find the second column of the third row of the matrix 2. That's it. Very confusing. So this you get for 12 out there. It is, isn't it, guys? As a third row, you got the second column, particular for the second column of the second matrix, that is 12. Very clear? Now suppose if I want to print the element in the first row and the third column of the first matrix, the first row, the third column and the first matrix, what I'll do is, for printing, what should be my code? Result of, what should I write? The first row, third column and the first matrix, that is first row, third column and the first matrix, isn't it? Okay, you get 13 out there, is it correct? So let's see, first row, third column in the first matrix, it's 13. Very simple. That's all. So now if I say only print the second matrix, I only want the second matrix, no the first matrix, I don't want the first matrix, I just want the second matrix. What I'll do, I'll copy it.
So comma 2.
Very good. It's comma 2. They'll get only the second matrix out there. Very nice. So you have seen how to make an array, how to name a column or a row out there, how to name the particular matrix name out there. So this is all. So we'll now be manipulating some array elements. Okay. So as array is made up of matrices in multiple dimensions, the operations on elements of array are carried out by accessing elements of the matrices. So we'll access very deeply. So we have vector 1, vector 2 array, and name it as array 1. This is my now array 1. Okay, it's a problem. No, it's okay. Now I'm creating a vector 3. I'll be writing it some values out there. Suppose 4, 5, 6. I'll be taking for vector 4. There again I'll be writing some values. So let me write it as 7, 2, 4, 5, 13, 14, 1, 2, 6, So it's 1 2 3 4. Okay. Now let me create an array 2 with an array of, so you can get the syntax right there, that is data, then the dimensions and the dimension names are there. Okay, so I'll be writing it for vector 3 and vector 4. There is an error. The dimensions would be the same as. So you have got array 1, you have got array 2 out there. Fine. Now I need to create matrices from these arrays. So I'll write it as matrix 1, right, array 1, matrix 2, fine. So now you can see everything out there. Fine. So let me show you first what is your array 1. So you see this is your array 1, nice. Okay, you go and see your array 2. Let me zoom out. So this is your array 2, right guys? Now you go and see your matrix. So matrix 1. So this is your matrix 1, that is this one, 593. This is a matrix 1. Very simple. Matrix is the single dimension figure, or you can say as a single figure you get out, but array is a multi dimensions. You can compare the outputs. Let's see. Okay, so now what I need to do is I just want a addition of the matrices. Without reading it in addition. One second. Addition of the matrices will be the matrix 1 plus the matrix 2. Okay, and I'll be printing the results from the addition. So you can get out there, that is 6 4. Did you understand this step right guys? Don't have confusion in this step. What is this actually? So I am creating a matrix 1 only from the second element or the second array of the first one, and from here I have took the second one. Okay, so don't make any issues in this one, that is array 2. Okay, we have done here, that is nothing but this only print the last element. So this is as pretty simple as I took it here. Okay, so moving on. So we have saw the addition of this all, and we get the additions of that. So this is something manipulations of the matrices from the arrays. Okay, So we can do calculation across the arrays. We can do calculation by using the apply function. Okay, so apply function syntax is something you write apply. Okay, so when we get to do calculations across the array elements, we use apply function, and there we have apply. And apply syntax is something, you have x, you have margin, and you have their fun. Now what these three stands for actually? So x is particularly an array, margin is the name of the data set which we use, and fun is the function that is to be applied across the elements of the array, right? So for example, we use the apply function and we'll solve a question or an example out there. So we'll see how this apply works on. Okay, so let us first create. We have actually two vectors with us, vector 1 and vector 2. So we have an array also, that is an array 1 out there with the vectors 1 and vector 2. We have everything, so we'll just go and apply. So we'll use apply now to calculate. Let me zoom now. To calculate the sum of the rows across all the matrices. Okay, so again I'll be giving the sum of rows, that is apply, and follow the syntax. That is, first you need to write your array name. So my array is array 1. Okay, and what I need to do is C of 1, that was nothing but, remember that was what it was in the middle section, it was margin, that is the name of the data set you are using. Okay, so from the 1 and need to get the sum. That is very simple. You go and get your sum are printed. You get 56, 68 and 60, isn't it? So let me zoom out and make you guys clear. So in the array 1 we were having, what we were having is 9, 11, 14 and this. And let me print it here actually. So okay, you actually want array 1. Cool. So this is array 1 and this is sum are. Fine. So can you find any correlations between that, how I came with that result, particularly that result? Yep. Can you find a correlation between them? Try to find actually. You will get it. So basically your array 1 is this. Okay. And what we have done, we have calculate, okay, this is spelling error. We have calculate the sum of all the rows across the matrices. So go and calculate, see whether you are getting this result or not. Check it out.
Yes, I got it.
Okay, and for the rest of them? What about Lakshmi and Adarsh, Deepak? Who said actually now? Dipan, you said that you got it. Okay, got it. So see guys, it's nothing. It's very simple. We have two matrices out there. Fine. We have two matrices. Add 5 plus 10 plus 13. What do you get it? It's 28. Okay. So 28 of the first row plus 28 of the second row. What do you get? 56. That is nothing but this one. Okay. Now add 9 plus 11 plus 14. What do you get? It's 34. It's 34 plus 34. What do you get? 68. This gives you 30 and this gives you 30. Add both, you get 60. So you got all the rows addition and the same here. This is something of how we work with the arrays actually. Okay. Understood? Any queries in the array section?
Excuse me, sir.
Yep.
Sir, can you repeat that apply part again? That what?
Which part?
Apply part.
Apply part.
Only apply part. Yes.
Okay. So as I said, okay, let me make you more brief. So apply is basically used. Why it is used? Apply is used to we can say as calculations. We when we need to get any calculations, we do apply. In apply, your syntax is actually x comma margin comma fun. Okay, where your x is an array, where I have written it's an array. Okay, and margin is the name of the data set we are using. Okay, this is something your margin or your data set you are using. This is first array. Right? Everything from the first array. Okay, and fun is the function what you are using. So I am using sum. So this is my function sum. You can use difference and multiplication, division, power, modulus, whatever you want. Okay. So this is the application. Sorry, apply. This is apply. So I have written a sum of the rows and apply I have done in the array one and then the first one and then find the sum. We got the sum out there with the arrays or with the matrices out there. It's very simple. Any more queries to anyone? Lakshmi, any queries? And who asked this query? Adarsh or Deepak? Because I think it was Deepak or Adarsh who was there.
Clear, sir.
Okay, it was Adarsh. Okay. So Deepak and Lakshmi, any queries to you guys? No. Good to see. What about Lakshmi?
No, sir. Okay.
No problems. Fine, very good. So let's move on. So first, let me clear this. It has become very large actually. So we have discussed. Let me clear this. Okay. So we have till now discussed that what are lists, what are arrays, what are matrices, right? Now we'll be discussing that what are data frames, right? So data frames is very good topic. But before that, we will see the factors actually. What are factors? Okay. In Python, we deal
Sir,
with these factors as yeah.
sir, can we take user input in R?
User input in R. Yes, we can take. There's no issue. We're doing it. If you want, I will do it for you.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay,
Yep.
sir.
So you guys will be getting projects also, right? You can take user input, but in R, if you want to take user input, it's very different from taking input in Python, right? Like I'm showing you a user input. Let me do. Okay. Okay, this has become pretty very large now. Let me clear this. Yeah, this to clear this. Okay. Now you want me to get a user input in R. Very good question. Let's move on. So when we are working with R, actually it is an you can say as a read line function, right? We used to do with a read line function. As in Python we use input. From here we have to use read line. Okay. So this is the terminal where we'll be getting the read line. Okay. So let's go and start writing name. Let me zoom it. Not with this. Okay, now it's good. I'm going to go with read line, and as we do in Java too, we need to give a prompt out there, right? First, we need to give a prompt where we have to specify enter name. Okay, that's all, and you got a prompt out there. See, simple.
So if we take integers, then where
Okay,
we have to take?
you need to take your integer. Very good. So first take age or take present year. So I need to give year in right integer. Okay, so I will again write read line, and I will write prompt. I will writing enter present year. Okay, so what is the year? 2020. Okay, now you are saying if we need to change this into integer. So for changing it is nothing, very easy. Go out in the year section, write it change into an integer. As I said yesterday, you can go and change it into integer. That's all. Run with this, and now get to check for the year. It's 2020, and for seeing its class, you'll get an integer out there. Simple.
Okay, sir.
Good to see. Let's move ahead. So we were dealing with factors now. Okay, so I will be clearing it. So everyone is clear with this, how we use input here? It was a good question also. Okay, so everyone is clear. Devayan, Adarsh, Deepak, and I think Adarsh asked. So let's move ahead. So CTR plus L, clear it, and we'll moving with the factors now. So what are actually factors? So factors are the data objects which are used to categorize the data and store it as levels. Okay, what are levels now we're talking about? Okay, so they can be both integers or strings. Okay, these are useful in columns which have a limited number of unique values. Now what are unique values? Suppose I say that in a particular class there are 5 students whose name is Sahil. Okay, now their surname can be different, but their first name is Sahil. Okay, so when I will be counting the number of students, I'll be getting it. If I'm counting on the basis of the first name, I'll getting Sahil, 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 and for 5 times Sahil. So for those 5 times, instead of getting those 5 times, I want only one Sahil out there. That is called as a unique value. Okay, you suppose you have male, you have female. Let me write male, you have female, you have again male, male, female, male, female, 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 male, female. So instead, when I get the result, if I print this, suppose when I write all these things in a, okay, if I write this and like this, and I get enter, error object not found. Very good. These all should be in string actually. So let me copy this, clear this, paste this, and this all should be in a string. Okay guys, so we have a gender criteria where we have male, female and so on everywhere. Okay, now if I print my data, I'll getting these all values like MF, MF, MF. Instead of getting these, I only want that what are the unique values in this? What are the unique values? So I will be getting only the factor of the sex. I'll getting, okay, these are the actual data and you only have the males and the females inside it. That is called as the levels. So let me deal it with the PPT and we'll get you more understandable. So where is the factor? I think it's matrix. There it is. Dealing with the factors. Presentations, apply, okay. So as I said, factors are the data objects which are used to categorize the data and store it as levels. So they can be stored both as the strings as well as the integers. They are useful in data analysis for statistical modeling, right? So as in this program, I've given data equals to east, west, north, and then as followed by something, right? So factor data, what I am making is only the unique values of all these. When you deal in Python we deal with the data frames. When we go with the data frames out there, when we go with the pandas, when we deal with pandas, there we need to get some unique values. Like Devan, you will be doing in the next 2 to 3 days in Python, right? You will see what are the unique values there. So
Okay.
the data is east, west, north, and something like this. In factor data, there we write directly unique, and in R we are writing it's as a factor. So factor is nothing but the unique values we get out there. So you write factor, and then you mention which data set or which data's factor you need to want, or you are actually needing which data's factor. So this is my data, and I am writing factor of data, and get it print. You will get east, west, everything out there you have mentioned. And with the levels is only the unique values as east, north and west, which has been repeated for number of times in these data. So let's quickly move down and solve it. So let me not waste my time. I'll simply copy it from here. That's all. Now I'll just paste it. Some problems. Okay, so is there any problem in the data? Unexpected errors in data simple. Where is the data? Okay, this is an unexpected simple. Okay, let me clear it actually and modify this. And I think now it's good to see it. Okay, so now you have data out there. So first go and see what you have in your data. That is east, west, east, north, east, west, and so on there. Right, that's very easy. Now I'll printing that is factor of my data, which will show you that no, it is not the factor value, right? Data is not a factor value because it has number of elements repeating inside it. It checks, is factor will check for you that no, here you can see as east for more than 2 to 3 times. Here we have found that north has been repeated, so it's not a factor actually. Okay, so now we'll apply the factor function and we'll see how factor works on. So let me give as it's factor data, and I'll be writing it as factor of the data. So once I have done this, now go and check for print the factor data. You'll see east, west, north, east, west, and so on, whatever you have given, and but the levels as east, north, and west. Now you go and check that is this factor data is a factor or not. We'll go with the print and we'll check is dot factor of factor underscore data, right guys? We'll check for it, we'll get a true right there. Fine, because this is the factor value actually. There are no elements being repeated inside the factor data, so it is a factor data. Understood what is a factor data? What is factor? And any confusions in this? Okay, let me create a data frame out there. So we're dealing with what is data frame, but before that I am making a data frame out there and we'll show you exactly how factor works on more. So let me create first that let me take some height over there. I'm taking height as 132, 100 and we can say 151, 162, 139, 166, 147, 122, and so on. And I'm also taking the weight. Basically I'm creating a BMI index, we all know. So let's take age, weight 48, 49, 50, 54, 67, 47, 40. So for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have all. So now let's create text column and again 7 values. So this is a male, followed by a female, male, female, okay, sorry, female, male, what is Amle? It's male, male, male. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right, 1 more, female. Okay, so we have gender, we have height, we have weight. Very good. So let's create a data frame. Dealing with the data actually later onwards, data frame we'll discuss, but let me show you now how it works on data frame of height, weight, and the sex. Very simple. Now go and print your data. So you'll see your height, you'll see your weight, and you will see your sex there. So for a particular person with height this and weight this, is he is a male or a female, I can justify from here. Okay. Now if I want to test that if the sex column is a factor or not. Is it a factor? No, it's not a factor. Okay. So I want to test that it is a factor or not. So I'm testing that if the sex column is a factor or not. Okay, so I'll be going just writing print, and for the print I'll writing is factor, and I'll write where in the data go and check. You can give index as something like this or simply a new one as the dollar sign. I will checking that is in the data the particular sex column is a factor or not. That is simple. So no, it's not a factor out there, it's not a factor. Okay, so I will be seeing the sex column to see out the levels actually. So print we see the data. So I have shown that male, female, male, female, female, male, and so on. It works out. Okay. So I want only the male, or I want only the levels of this data. So how will I get? Yep. I have to create sex factor. Writing what? Factor of sex. Very nice. I'll go and okay, now go and print the sex factor. You'll get your levels as male and female. Very easy, guys. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we are changing the order of the levels. The order of the levels in a factor, you can say, is it can be changed by applying the factor function again. Okay. So think of that we have data as no, we have data in the previous as east, west, north, south. This, let me copy this. I go there and I paste it over here. Not one time. Okay. So if you have your data as something, you create a factor over it. Okay. And what is order actually? I will just specify you. So I have to have data as something like this, and a factor data also. What is my factor data? I must see that is there any change in the factor data? No, my factor data is fine. Okay, so directly I will be applying okay, I will be applying the factor function with required order. Okay, so let's say that my new order data is a factor of factor data. Okay, and I'm giving levels. So what are actually these levels? So I'm giving it as east, west, north, and I'll be printing the new order data. No, not this. So now you can see the class has been printed, but it is east, west, and north. Instead, we got east, north, and west. Previously, we have changed the order accordingly to us. We want that first east should be printed and followed by west and then north. So we have actually changed the levels of how to get out the results from that. Okay, very simple. Okay, now Let's take a city and I'm writing some values over there. Or let me write this. Okay. Now actually we are generating factor levels. What are factor levels now? Factor levels can be generated by using GL function. Okay, GL function will generate a factors. In GL, your syntax is when you write GL, your syntax there goes. Okay, you can see something like here. You see what n comma k comma labels. What is this now? An order also you can see. But now n is the integer giving the number of levels. Okay, k is your the integer giving the number of replications or repetitions. What you mean? Okay, and labels is a vector of labels for the resulting factor labels. So let's go and create. Let me say creating city. I'm writing GL and I'm writing 3 cross 4 with the labels, writing some city names. Now you can see Delhi, Mumbai and Kolkata has been printed for how many times? Guys, how many times it's for? It's for every, you can see that every Delhi has been printed for 4 times. Every Mumbai has been printed for 4 times, as well as Kolkata has been printed for 4 times. Guys, it's simple, very. But the levels you get is only the 3 levels, that is Delhi, Mumbai, and Kolkata. And this is how you can generate your own, and you can give it 5. So, any queries in this one?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Very nice to go. So this is how we get to factors. Okay. So now we'll deal with the data frames.
Okay, bye, sir.
Why? No, why? I'm dealing with data frames now. We have half an hour left. He has gone, right? No, don't go, right? We have. Sir, I asked this question. Which question? 12:19. What's the time now? It's 12:38. Which question asked you, Devan? It's not responding. Input. Okay. Input. Fine. So I deal with input. Let's move to our data frames. So data frames is, you can say, as a table or a 2-dimensional array like structure in which each column contains some values of one variable and each row has a set of values from each column. It's very simple, right? You can see a very simple program out there. In data frame we have column names which should not be empty. We have row names which should always be unique, and a data stored in a data frame can be numeric, factor or a character type. Each column should contain same number of data items, and these are some of the rules, protocols we should follow for any data frame. So we'll get ahead and we'll work on. Okay. So let's move. Let's start by simply creating a very simple data frame. That is, you can see is here your simple one. So let's move. Okay, should I clear this one? Factors. Anyone having any query from the first part to the last part? Any problems in these, guys? No one?
That dollar sign, why you had used?
It is specifically for indexing. How we index, right? We can use index like something like this. So there's an alternative method. We can use dollar. Give the data name and then specifically give a dollar sign to get your data.
So just over print new order data, just the data, so I don't get it.
This one was not actually. This is printed by mistake. I was writing new order data, and after new it got plus, and then so it comes. It is not anything. This is not any. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. No more queries. Anyone? Any queries? Okay. Let me clear this now. Now dealing with the data frames. So move on. Create a data frame first. So I'm taking employee data. I'm taking my employee ID first. I've taken employee ID from 1 to 5, and then I'm saying my employee names, and my employee names are some of my friend names. Let me deal it with Satyam, Mayuk, Anshu. It's my name, and again a friend name. That's it. So these are the employee names, and we're giving a salary or to all the employees. So let's say $623.3, $515.2, $611, $804.2, 1024.2, or 4, whatever you want. And this is something a salary column. Now I'm creating an employee data where I'm writing a data frame, and my data are employee. Any problems coming up? Someone was making presentation. There was a very noisy effect. From where does it came? Okay, it was like motorbike racing. It was okay. I'm audible, right, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who was that presenting? Okay, let us see on in the video. Employee dot data dot frame of employee ID, and what are your names? Employee names, salary. Okay, this is not found. MP ID is not found. It's mp.id. Now go and check your employee data. So you get it something like this. Okay, you have employee IDs 1 2 3 4 5, you have employee names there, you have their salaries there. This is how you build a data frame. It's very easy, guys. Okay, so let's deal with the another data. Again it's happening. Someone is having network issues or any such issue, you can tell me. We will only be dealing with the data frame today, and then from tomorrow we will going with the loops. Anyone is having network issue?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. My presentation has been stopped. Oh, why it is? Okay, now it's okay. Who is having network issue? Deepak,
Yes, sir.
you disconnect and reconnect them. I think it's get sorted out. Disconnect the call and then reconnect. I'm waiting for you. Go and come fast. He is not going. Okay, it's fine. Okay, so let's go and create another data frame. Now let me deal you with time series. What are time series? Now let's say I'm creating an let me clear it first everything. Now say I'm having an employee data frame, and in the data frame, just let me clear it again. Now in the data frame, I'm doing is I'm writing employee dot id is equals to c 1:5, employee dot name is equals to sum of the names, suppose Rick, Dan, John, Michael, we can say is Mike, Ryan. Okay, it was having an issue. Fine. Let me create a script. Okay, 1, 2. He's getting very low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Let me give some date values. Please mute. So I'm getting some noise. Please mute. Yep, we are done with this now. And let us close this data frame. Fine. So what actually we did, we created an employee data frame, a data frame with name employee data, where I have employee data from 1 to 5, ID, that is employee names. These are my some names over there, and I have salary, which is these of the salary with some of these guys, and start date is nothing but a date what I am giving it. That's something like this. These are the actual syntax of how we can write a date over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and okay, we have written 4 dates. So let us write one more. Let's write one more here. That is 2000. Right here. That is 2014. Let me keep it 11, 15. Let's take the values from here. Okay. So we got date. What is as date? Date is actually the dates what you're giving. We have 5 dates there. What we'll do, we'll see. So in data frames you have these all of your data. Okay, that is start date, on which date a particular man has started his job out there. Okay, so now I want string as factors. That is nothing but you are writing that these factors or whatever you have given, mention it as your string, and you have given false, that this should not be a factors. Otherwise you will getting a factor out there. If I have given the salary of 2 persons same, so in data frame you might got only one salary out there, and the second one will not get any salary, as because factors only print the unique values. So I want no string as the factors. Okay, so I've done those, and we'll get the print of the data frame. So for that I'll be writing print, what I am writing, employee dot data. That's it. Just go and run it now. Let me zoom it out. Let me run data frame with 0 columns. Why is it so? So is this with 0 columns? Let me see, there might be somewhere else. Employee data, maybe data frame. Invalid argument where you need the operator. So there is a problem. That is the problem. So well guys, it comes on and we deal with everything. Let's see the graph here. Okay, so you can see everything, and employee data is this, employee names is this. You can see column 2 has all everything character out there, particular character names. These are the index IDs. Okay, we have salary of these guys. Okay, you can go accordingly with the highest or with the lowest salaries, the start date or the ended date we can see here, and this is all how you get it. Fine guys, understand? Have you got this? And this you can save now. If you want to save it, you can save now. If you want to cut it, it will ask for you, do you want to save or not? Do you want to save? I want to save it, you can name it as save, whatever you want. Okay, you want to say that I want to save it on my desktop. And this is a sample data. Okay. Let's of R. Right. Let me move this. Okay, you go and just save it out there, and it's okay. Let me see my desktop. Please mute Deepak. Wait, I have muting it. So this is our desktop. Okay. He's facing network issues. Deepak, please mute. Don't unmute, please. It's getting noise from a background. So we get here a sample R data frame, right guys? You can save it here. Okay. Is this done with this? Okay. Understand how data frame works on?
Sir,
Yep. Who's there?
sir, in that code one which you have written for data frame, that string as factors, can you explain? String as factors.
This one. Where it is? 1 second. What you are asking? Where is the code? This one. String as factors.
Yes, sir.
See.
String factors.
These are string, right? These are the strings. Okay. In data frame, by default, what it does, it creates a factor of all the common numbers. Okay. When you get a string out there, like say I have got date. Okay. Now these dates are in string, mentioned in the string. Now if the dates are same, it will take as a factor out there. And I can see that if the dates are, if both dates are same for these, he will be getting the date, this area will be blank actually because of the factor. So I don't want any factors out there, I want the actual values whatever it is. So I am giving string as factors is equals to false. Okay.
That means we want that basically the dates are present as characters.
Yeah.
So that's why we are taking that string as factors.
Where is our
Yes, you can directly take as date characters, or we have options that as date, you see here as date characters. Here is the format. How would you want to modify it? Date default, it comes as date, it comes with between functions. You can read function to convert between the character representations. Okay, there we have a lot of options out there. Okay.
Yes.
So how this is how we deal with data frames. We'll dealing with tomorrow also with some of the functions of the data frame, and then we'll move on with the condition statements and all. Okay. So I think today's agenda is clear, guys. Any problems? Let me
Sir,
escape this.